Story 1. My mother has always told me, and still tells me, that she loves me nearly every time we see each other. As another person said, it is the knowledge that they will always have my back. They do not tell me whether they are happy or angry about my life choices. They say I am the one who has to live with those choices, and as long as I am happy, they are too. They were not perfect, but they apologized when they realized they had deeply hurt me. They always explained their parenting choices, and I never once heard the phrase "my house, my rules." Lastly, they were absolutely loyal to their children. If other adults or family members, such as older cousins, mocked me, they would step in and defend me when I could not. They always took my feelings seriously. I realized in elementary school that this was not normal for most adults. Story 2. My dad always said, if you fail your exam, I'll make you croissants. I am very type A and used to stress a lot about tests in high school. I always knew that no matter what I did in life, my dad would do nothing but love me. Story 3. You always feel completely safe and know that no matter what happens, everything will be okay. Life is much better. You do not have to seek companionship outside your family as much because you already have a feeling of being loved from them. You rarely feel alone when you have loving parents and family. Story 4. I had a loving mother but a difficult father. My mother supported me throughout school. She went to different stores to get supplies for my projects. She read the same books I did so she could engage in critical thinking discussions. She attended my sporting events and cheered me on. She lay in bed with me after I had nightmares and ran her fingers through my hair until I fell asleep. She constantly reassured me that I was capable of pursuing my dreams. She told me she loved me every day and hugged me often. She is an amazing woman, and I am so grateful to have her. Story 5. The best way I can describe it is a general feeling of security. Knowing that they are fully behind you, and even when they are angry, it is almost always because they are trying to help you in the long run. It is not something you appreciate until you get older and begin to notice young people who must deal with very difficult situations with their parents. You slowly realize how many problems you never had to worry about because of your support system. The best part is how the relationship changes as you grow older, when they begin treating you as an equal adult and you see them as a whole person. Story 6. I am not sure about loving parents, but I know what it means to have a loving parent. My mother is my hero. She shows me what love is. About 12 years ago, my father was deported and left behind 5 children. I was 12 and the oldest. Both of my parents were immigrants, so it was not always easy to find housing or jobs. My father was the only source of income, so when he was deported, we did not know what to expect. I saw a side of my mother I had never known. She started selling tamales and working several jobs to make ends meet. We had to live in a garage and later in a single room with 6 people in it. Through it all, my mother never complained and I never saw her cry. We suffered for years and still struggle, but not as much as before. I work and help out as much as I can, and now 2 of my siblings also work and help her. She still works 6 days a week, and so do I. This is what having a loving parent is like. A parent who will go through anything just to make ends meet, always showing us love no matter how hard it gets. Story 7. I am an adult with loving parents. They are not perfect, and I have baggage. We have all made mistakes in our relationship. I was never abused in any way. Now we have a very good relationship. We forgive each other easily for past errors, and our relationship is more like close friends than parent and child. The roles are changing as I give more advice than I receive these days. Story 8. I feel bad because, from the phrasing of this question, it sounds like you do not, but I will not lie. It is incredible. I was born to 2 loving parents who waited until they were financially well off to have children. The only struggle I have ever had is with depression, a genetic condition for which there is little I can do. I am in college now. My parents pay for my expensive university wholeheartedly, and they go out of their way to do little things to make me happy. My mom surprises me with takeout from my favorite restaurant, and my dad surprises me with basketball tickets or takes me to a movie. We have arguments, but 99% of the time they are about little things we do not remember 10 minutes later. We operate as a family and make decisions together. Every important decision is made by the family, so the risk is low and the reward high. Being loving often means being responsible, and my parents have always been responsible. I think it is cruel when a child loses the strong image of their parents or never had it to begin with. I view my parents as strong figures and anchors. They have moments of weakness but are overwhelmingly strong. I hope to continue this and be an even better parent to my future children. Story 9. I am 25, nearly 26. My parents were incredible while I was growing up, and they still are. I grew up middle class, never extravagantly wealthy, but we never had to worry about where our next meal was coming from. My mother is a pretty tough woman. She is a third-generation Italian immigrant and grew up on the Hill, the Italian neighborhood of St. Louis. She kept my brother, sister, and me in line, and was never very sentimental, but she always cared for us and stood up for us. My father is one of 6 siblings and is the second oldest. He is a very caring, sentimental man. He is 62 and retired now, but he worked as an information technology project manager for Anheuser-Busch and made good money. They both provided well for us, gave us what we needed, and were fair in their discipline when necessary. I realize now that they sacrificed a lot along the way, taking us to soccer and baseball games, dropping us off and picking us up from school every day, and dealing with our whining and annoying behavior. I suppose I truly had a classic American dream childhood, and I have often taken it for granted. When asked what it was like, the original poster says it was nice. It was comfortable when it needed to be and challenging when appropriate. I live on my own now, and I am going over to see them for Father's Day today. I may say a word of thanks for giving me a very good life. Story 10. The most beautiful part is watching your parents love each other. I didn't see how valuable that was until I became an adult and learned that not everyone grows up seeing healthy love. That is an important factor in the relationships I have, and it's why I'm glad to say I am a healthy significant other. Whenever I hear about people I know in abusive and toxic relationships, the first thing I ask is what their parents' relationship was like. Trauma is a real and unfortunate learning mechanism. Story 11. It is wonderful to never doubt their love deep down. They always made me feel that, even when they did not approve of something I did as a child, they still accepted me. I miss them dearly. Story 12. Amazing. My mother is the most loving and caring person you could ask for. I'm 30 but still very close to my mother. I visit every weekend and help her with the do-it-yourself work around the house. She's slowly going blind, which is heartbreaking to watch as she struggles with day-to-day life. Once she is completely blind, I'm planning to leave my job to care for her as much as I can. She gave my siblings and me the best upbringing she could have, so I want to repay her. It's wonderful having loving parents. You will do anything for each other. Story 13. As I have gotten older, my views on this kind of question have shifted significantly. I am a 40-year-old man and my partner is a 45-year-old woman. I thought I understood what loving, caring parents were, and that mine were pretty good but not great. Since I met my partner's parents, I truly understand what a caring parent is and that mine never were. I grew up in a racist household with parents who only did things that interested them, even when I repeatedly said I did not want to. For the majority of my life, my father made a joke that he was out of town whenever anything related to me came up. I have no interest in speaking to either of my parents. My mother calls about once every couple of weeks and tells me that I am not being fair to them and that I need to let the past go. I have come to dislike my parents and cannot remember a time when I felt mutual respect. My partner's parents are not perfect. There have been disagreements, but I have always felt mutual respect. They are willing to ask both their child and me for help when needed. They try to plan outings that include all of us and make a significant effort to understand. I have found in my partner's parents what I always wanted for mine. Story 14. I told my mother that my office is reopening and asked her to make a few masks. She has made 10. When we were little, she read to us in bed. Our friends' parents did not buy groceries. They gave their children a food allowance, which the kids spent at the gas station, so there was never any fruit at their house. My mother bought my friend's favorite apples for her. Story 15. Original poster, is everything okay? Reading this question broke my heart. Story 16. It is great. The only downside is that I feel extremely privileged all the time. It is a trade-off I would make any day, though. Story 17. The feeling of acceptance, understanding, and security, and the knowledge that they will do anything for you, even if it means going through hell. My father and mother escaped from the communist countries of Poland and Vietnam and nearly died during their escape. Upon arriving, they worked many jobs and endured great hardship to give us a good upbringing. My father owns a pizza shop. In its early days, he worked from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m., often unable to sleep because of the stress of knowing that if something went wrong, his family could starve. At the worst of it that I know of, he set up a mattress at the back of the store and slept there so he knew things would be okay. My parents have gone through hell for us and would do so again if necessary. They gave us plenty of attention and love. One of the biggest things for me is trust. I trust them and they trust me. We have mutual respect. Story 18. My parents are very understanding and let teenagers be themselves. My friends and I tell a lot of dirty jokes and are loud. We like to play games like Cards Against Humanity. I'm always afraid my parents will judge me or overhear us, but they never mind. At my birthday party, I went upstairs to bring down drinks and apologize to my dad for the noise. He looked at me with the kindest expression I have ever seen and told me not to apologize and that I was fine. Later, my mom said that teenagers just need a place to be themselves, and after the party they told me they had been cracking up at things they overheard from the basement. I appreciate this so much. The level of trust they have in me is wonderful. I could not be more thankful to have such understanding parents. Story 19. They make sacrifices every day for you and do not expect anything in return because they act out of pure love. There is no constant guilt tripping like, I do everything for you and you do nothing, you ungrateful child. They want you to succeed and flourish, not to feel obligated to them. Story 20. Thanks to the original poster. I really needed to read people's responses because they reinforce that my parents are not loving and are emotionally abusive, manipulative assholes. I am not being facetious. After beating drug addiction, this is my last hurdle in clearing the evils from my life, and I appreciate the validation in these comments more than anyone can know. I was right when I listened to my gut and began to cut them off. I went to therapy, talked to my friends in my support group, but it is never easy to realize that the two people who are supposed to love you unconditionally and be there for you are only out for themselves. I am sure there are others here who have had the same realization, and I would like to thank you all for being strong. Thank you, Reddit. I needed this today more than I can explain. Story 21. To be honest, it's amazing and I wouldn't trade the world for it. I'm only 19, but throughout my childhood and preteen years, I got along with my parents. I didn't just tolerate them. I preferred to spend time with them and be in their presence. My parents have a great deal of love to give and extend their kindness beyond their children. Even before they became parents, they were loving people. Becoming parents simply gave them more people to love. Story 22. Sadly, I wish I had one. My parents use me like an investment. I get beaten and punished for making them even slightly uncomfortable. Story 23. My dad teaches me everything about farming, and my mom makes the best dinners. Story 24. You cannot kill yourself because you are loved and it would destroy your parents' lives. They are there for you unconditionally, which is very nice. Story 25. My father left before I was born. My mother has been my rock, my confidant, and my everything. Because I do not remember my father at all, I do not miss him. I am very grateful for my mother. Story 26. It is hard to explain. My parents are always there for me and very supportive. They share in my achievements, encourage me to reach my goals, and support me when I am down. It sounds corny, but it is true. It took me 6 years to get my degree because I was working full-time. My mom and dad would come over during exam weeks to cook dinner or do my laundry because they knew how stressed I was. When I had an ectopic miscarriage and had to stay in the hospital for a short time, they visited daily with food, toiletries, and other supplies for my husband and me. They have supported me financially over the years. They are by no means well off. When my washing machine broke, they bought me a second-hand one even though they needed a new machine themselves. They prioritize me and my husband over themselves. They can be a little overbearing at times, but I am very grateful they are my parents. Story 27. I feel like a stranger in my own family. I always hold back what I want to express. Story 28. We have a good relationship. I have healthy love and respect for them because there is no hurt in my past that would have caused me to feel bitterness or anger toward them. I do not fear them and instead feel completely comfortable asking them for help. If we fight, we work it out civilly by the end. I can stand up to them if they do something wrong. If I cross a line, they will say so and reprimand me accordingly. I do not put them on a pedestal. I know they are flawed and have done some things I do not agree with, but in the end, the good they have given me far outweighs any negative effects. Story 29. It was an eye-opening experience for me when I first started college and met many people who did not have the same strong parental guidance and support that I had. It made me extremely grateful to have my parents and allowed me to view things from a different perspective. I moved to attend college several states away from them, and since I have been away, I have formed strong relationships with people at my job, at my university, and in my apartment community. Those relationships have helped me cope with no longer having the close relationship we once had and with seeing them no more than a couple of times a year. Story 30. No parent is perfect, but mine were very good. When you are young, they may make mistakes, but you know they will be there to steady you and help you improve. As you grow older, you begin to see them as ordinary people rather than an indestructible part of your life. They become people you can talk to and spend time with, while still offering support and guidance. Story 31. Wonderful. My dad admits that he does not always understand me. I am autistic and asexual, but as long as I am a good person and a hard worker, he will always be proud of me. My mom is one of my best friends. Story 32. I enjoyed having freedom but also responsibility. I learned to work hard and enjoy what I have. Now I take care of them. I do their shopping so they are not exposed to coronavirus disease 2019. Story 33. My parents are terrible people, but I have a very loving father-in-law. He is always very supportive. He is the reason I went back to school. Story 34. I used to think I had loving parents until I saw my friends' relationships with their parents. Now I'm mourning what I thought my life was after a huge reality check. Story 35. As a child development major, your parents strongly affect your attachment. Having loving parents makes you more secure and less likely to search for love and acceptance in the wrong places. Growing up with loving parents allows you to value and love yourself. You are also more likely to have healthier relationships with others. Loving parents are not perfect, but they usually know how to apologize and make amends, and you learn from them. They love you, so when you make mistakes, although there may be consequences, they still show you that the mistake was wrong, not you. You remain loved. As an adult, you can make mistakes, know you did something wrong, and still understand that there is nothing wrong with you. Having loving parents also reduces the chance of staying in toxic or abusive relationships because you know what love is from your experience with them. When a parent who is supposed to love you mistreats you, you may recognize the mistreatment but have never experienced love, and you might not be able to distinguish it in future relationships, romantic or platonic, as a child or an adult. My personal thoughts and experiences are that having or not having loving parents is deeply rooted in emotion. I believe those who grow up with loving parents are typically more mature in how they communicate their emotions compared to those who do not. In college, I was told that in times of stress, we revert to what we know, meaning our parents. In my opinion, children with loving parents are less likely to lash out or have meltdowns when they must communicate their emotions. For example, using I statements. I felt sad when I heard you say that, versus, what is wrong with you? People may react differently in the moment, but after things settle and you calm down, are you able to state how that hurtful event made you feel? Or do you explode and become accusatory, or shut down and leave, never speaking about it again and trying to forget? If you never state what you felt, you do not resolve it. Loving parents promote communication and the expression of feelings, and parents who are not loving often do not allow that. Because of this, it is difficult to learn how to discuss emotions properly if you grew up not being allowed to do so. Story 36. You mean what it is actually like to have parents who care about you? To have parents who do not want to stab you in the back? Good question. I do not know. Story 37. It's like being on a team for life. Whatever decisions I make, I know I have their support 100%. They genuinely want me to be happy. They never push me into anything. They always discuss the options and are ready to help with whatever choice I make. I have always felt respected and listened to. I am never dismissed, belittled, or mocked. Their support feels like a security blanket. One thing that really shows it is what happened after a fight. When I was a child and we yelled, it would end with us apologizing for yelling and them explaining their reasoning. I have never been made to feel like my feelings are invalid or do not matter, and that is incredibly important to me now. Parents can sometimes be dismissive because children are young, and they do not realize how much that can undermine a person's confidence and communication skills for life. Story 38. Who knows? But I'm glad there are a lot of people in this world who have loving parents. I bet it's nice. Story 39. My father is absent, but my mother is incredibly loving. What stands out most is how endlessly supportive she is. As long as my siblings and I are doing something such as working, attending school, pursuing education, training, employment, or therapy, and generally trying to move forward in our lives, we can be sure that she supports us. If she ever doubted my ability to succeed, she never let me know. I took that for granted until I met friends and partners who did not receive that kind of support at home. I cannot imagine how painful it would be to have your dreams crushed by your parents or to feel that you cannot live up to their expectations. Story 40. Honestly, I would not know. Growing up, I realized my family was very different. My parents were divorced, and my mother was mentally ill but functional. My father remarried. My mother had many boyfriends. We were not a priority for either parent and were expected to fit into their lives at their convenience. On top of that, both parents tried to turn us against the other. We were only valuable as pawns or targets, whatever suited them at the time. Neither parent wanted to actually parent us. We were the cast-offs from a failed, bitter relationship, and that is how we were treated. As an adult, I developed a severe disorder affecting my ability to form attachments, and it took years of therapy and medication adjustments to get to where I am now. Neither parent acknowledged their role in my illness and claimed they did not remember. They remember how much they spent on us, and that is good enough for them. I stopped talking to my parents years ago, so here is to me. Happy Father's Day, self. I have been both mother and father to myself for a long time. Story 41. It is quite depressing to read all these comments and wonder how full my life could have been. Story 42. Parents who connect and teach rather than punish or shame describe behavior as safe or unsafe instead of good or bad. They notice and tell the child what they appreciate. They explain what is happening and provide the comfort of routines in an uncertain world. They engage with eye contact, touch, presence, and play, and they play with their children. They do not give children everything they want, but explain the need to budget money for necessary items. They give choices, for example, do you want to get ready for bed now or in 5 minutes? Or which park do you want to go to? They prompt with choices such as do you want to start with picking up the blocks or the ball? They allow children time to complete tasks instead of screaming right now. They show empathy during upsets and disobedience by acknowledging what the child wanted, then gently offering redirection or appropriate consequences. They ask other adults to reinforce the consequence rather than criticize the child publicly. They praise children to others and do not take behavior personally. They love and coach themselves through negative emotions and model and teach the same to their children. They practice self-care and take time for themselves because when we are hungry, stressed, or tired, we feel cranky, like an infant. They understand floors, walls, and tables are not sacred and do not get angry over messes. Story 43. I used to visit friends as a kid and watch their interactions with their parents as if I were watching a Disney movie. Story 44. The only thing I wanted was parents who would support me in anything I wanted to do. It is really sad that my parents always said I was not good enough for anything I tried. If I ever have children, I will try to be as supportive of their dreams as I can, because it is really hard when your parents regard your dreams as useless. Instead of saying, go for it, We will support you in any way we can. They say things like, "You are not good enough." Story 45. I realized this when my longtime boyfriend could not rely on his family if he ever got in a jam and needed a ride in the middle of the night. Both of my parents would be there in an instant. Story 46. Reading all the replies makes me cry, and it is 2:10 a.m. here. Original poster, I hope you are okay, and if you are not, I hope you can find the love and attention you deserve. Sorry I cannot offer anything because we are in the same boat. Story 47. Some onion-cutting ninja bitches just infiltrated my house. Damn, I'm so jealous. My childhood was awful. Story 48. They were at every recital, game, track meet and band performance I ever had. They supported me and told me I could do anything. My father taught me sports and my mother taught me culture. I was never body shamed or hurt. I always felt safe. I lost my father at 26 to cancer. 12 years later, last Christmas, we found my mother dead at home from liver failure. Compared with many, I had only a short time with them, but I am grateful for the time I had. They were my everything. I hope my children feel the same about me. Story 49. A shout out to all adults who survived traumatic experiences in their families. Story 50. Ask me the opposite of this. And boy, do I have stories to tell. Story 51. You can choose what you want to do in life. There is no pressure to be rich or famous. If you fail, they will forgive you. If you are broke, they will support you. If you become sick in a foreign country, they will spend more than 24 hours traveling to visit you in the hospital. Story 52. As a teenager, you might get mad and shout at them. You might roll your eyes and act like a typical teenager, yet you know you will still have a place with them. You might go out, fail, call them, and find your room ready without question about how long you will stay. As an adult, you will accept yourself. You will not lash out at people who love you, thinking they are out to get something from you. You will not hesitate to show your love, and you will not make it conditional because you have seen unconditional love. Loving parents can be nosy and well-meaning, and they can irritate you with their concern. Then you may encounter a question like this and feel bad for being irritated, thinking they are too much sometimes, as if there could be too much love. Story 53. I do not know. I will ask my son when he is older and let you know. Story 54. They care for you, even if you do not or cannot see it. They do not hit you because they know better. They crack jokes and help you understand the strange world we live in. They help you become an adult. They are rarely unfair with punishment and they rarely give it. You can always trust that they will be by your side in hard times and good times. They cry with you, cheer when you succeed, and are always there to watch you grow into a great person. They are family, and family is not left behind. A friend saw this message and cried. Story 55. I am 16 years old. My father hits me. My mother does not know what to do. I cannot go to the police because I do not want to lose my father. I have severe trauma because of him. Story 56. It's like a loan for 18 years of life. It will shower you with love and security and ask for nothing in return. Only that you succeed in life. Story 57. I have to say it has been such a gift during quarantine. I had been away from home for some time, and it is so beautiful to spend time with my family, especially because of all the laughing, smiling, and joking. I find that I can be myself, do what I want, and receive nothing but support while experiencing warmth and joy. I know this may sound sentimental, but I feel so blessed to have a loving family and to love each day. Genuinely happy. Story 58. Many people talk about security, but despite having a loving mother, I do not feel safe with her. I have a hard time picturing her as strong. When she cries, I am the one who comforts her. I would not consider showing weakness in front of her. Story 59. I always knew I could count on my parents. If I got in trouble, I knew what to expect. If I needed something, clothes, a ride, or school supplies, they always provided it. They were supportive and loved me, my siblings, my husband, and my 4 children. They came to every holiday and birthday with food and presents. They attended every school assembly my siblings and I had and later did the same for the grandchildren. Their love was always there. I lost my beloved father last July at age 82, and I miss him every single day. I still have my wonderful mother. She came by earlier to bring a card, cake, and a pretty plant for our 29th anniversary tomorrow. She is 81, and I cannot imagine a better mother. Story 60. It's too wonderful to describe. I remember an exchange I had with my mom. It went like this. But Mom, I don't think I'm smart enough to graduate university. You are. But even if you don't, you are still the most wonderful, kind, hardworking, compassionate person I have ever met. Geez, stop that. Humble too. Last year I received my degree with honors. I'm now looking into getting a master's degree. Story 61. This is a bit odd. They gave me too much freedom. Even though the limits were reasonable, I constrained myself with strict rules, and it felt wrong. Story 62. Having loving parents means they create an atmosphere where failure is acceptable and help you learn and grow from it. Story 63. I have loving parents who do not show it directly. They may appear not to care, but in reality they are doing everything to take care of me. Story 64. It's not about them. It's about you, the child. Your parents can sometimes get so caught up in you that they martyr themselves and do every little task for you. They want to give you everything their money can buy, and they want you to be happy. That is their main priority. Story 65. My father left before I was born, and I left home when I was 15. On my own, I earned a master's degree, got a good job, and built a beautiful family. My parents taught me how not to parent, so I guess that's something. Story 66. You are now my adopted child. No matter what, know that you have a dad who is proud of you, supports your choices, and loves you. Story 67. Both of my parents were very loving, caring, and giving. We were poor, and it sometimes bothered me, but I saw bad things in some of my friends' houses and figured I was better off where I was. Now that I am older, I give my children the same love I had. I am still poor because I never developed a taste for it. I do have nice things, just not as many. I have been married for 35 years, and my wife grew up in a loving family as well, so we did not doubt we would end up as we are. I read these posts sometimes with horror, and I thank God that I am who I am and not one of the people I read about. I am just answering the question. There are people in this world who live completely ordinary lives. Story 68. I had loving parents when I was growing up. They are alive and have been married for about 40 years. I wasn't spoiled, but I was well taken care of. My wife was not so fortunate. Her parents weren't there for her nearly as much, and at times she felt like a burden to them. Now that we are married, she has seen the contrast, and my parents love her as they do me. For a while it was surprising to her because she wasn't used to unconditional parental love. She likes knowing that if she needs help she can go to my parents, just like I do. Now she's on speaking terms with both her parents even though they have been divorced for many years. She has told me she thinks my parents love her more than her own parents. That makes me sad, but I'm glad my family can be there for her, too. Story 69. I feel like I can go somewhere in life. It feels good that they would do anything for me, including paying for college and medical school. I know they will always support me no matter what. Story 70. It was an experience I wish everybody could have. People actually cared about me and wanted me around, were always interested in what I was doing, reveled in my successes, and commiserated with me after my failures. They really made me feel like I mattered. Story 71. Growing up, we had a great sense of humor and laughed a lot. Other kids wanted to hang out at our house. My husband and I have created the same environment for our children. Nothing is perfect. Every family has issues, but there is nothing like the security and well-being of knowing you have each other and that family comes first. Story 72. I do not know. I never had loving parents while growing up, but I am going to be the best father I can be for my little girl. Story 73. I often have so much love inside me because others give me so much every day, so I share it with people when they least expect it. I hope to be a therapist one day to help more children feel as loved as I did. Story 74. I am really happy for all of you who have this in your life, but a part of me cannot help being envious. Story 75. Are there any communities on Reddit that are the opposite of the subreddit Insane Parents? I would like there to be one. Story 76. Watching your parents be just as excited as you on Christmas is wonderful. Not because they get gifts, but because they're eager to see if you like yours. If you cry with excitement, you can almost see the endorphins surge through them and the joy on their faces. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.